Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. Today we are checking out a band called My Ruin. The song is called Ready for Blood. The band were about end of the 90s, early 2000s. And it's a really interesting band. It kind of came out of the ruins, My Ruin, came out of the ruins of a band called Manhole. The singer is a singer called Tari B, who is known as a rap artist. And actually, before she was in a metal, did a lot. You can actually find her after she was in metal bands, does a lot of more mainstream hip hop rap, and was also for one time the girlfriend partner of Burton C. Bell from Fear Factory. Back in the days, back then. So there you go. That's a little bit of background on the band. I'm fairly certain you guys haven't probably listened to My Ruin.
I know them. I remember them.
I remember. I went and watched them. I actually saw them as Manhole back in the day. But
what was the other band she was in? Was it Tura Sultana?
Tura Santara, yeah. She did a lot of sort of transitional bands at the time.
Manhole were contemporaries of Korn, weren't they, as well?
Yeah. Manhole were very cool. Let's check out My Ruin and Ready for Blood. We'll watch the whole video, and at the end we will share feedback. Let's do it. Okay, there we go. My Ruin and Ready for Blood. So, from looking at that thing, came out in around about 2008, according to the album. It was sort of listed in there. So, I'm going to throw it around the room as usual, and I'll go last on this one, as I know a little bit more about the band, or I've covered them a few times. Andy.
Not heard My Ruin or any other of Tari B's projects, but I do remember her being featured on the cover of Kerrang! Many times, you know, to try and sell the issue as one of the few sort of female metal vocalists or even musicians at the time. So, you know, occasionally they put on the ladies on the front cover to try and sell issues, probably. And back in the day, you know, there wasn't the vast number of female musicians and vocalists we've got nowadays. So I think vocally and visually, you know, today Tari B would not be featured anywhere near as much because she hasn't got the look. Personally, I don't think she got the vocal delivery either. Her vocals were too punky for me, a bit too sort of harsh and raspy. Didn't really like her vocals, but the music I did like. Well, part of it is very sort of crowbar down, sort of Pantera style.
Yeah.
Sort of groove, stoner doom kind of rock. The solos, both of them, terrible with guitar tone. That really put me off because I think the solos were quite complementary to the song, but I didn't like the guitar tone or the pedal he used or the effect he used for that particular section of the song. I like the look of the video. You know, the way it was shot, the sort of performance cut with a sort of a story element with a woman in hospital and being subjected to all sorts of treatments and drugs. Not something I'll ever go back to. I am familiar with this lady's other projects and everything, but mainly her vocal style really puts me off. If it was lived in a different way, or this band had a different vocalist that I'm more attuned to, I think I would quite like it because musically my kind of thing. But her vocals were sort of pushed in the mix as well. They were quite high, kind of drowned out the rest of the musicians. It might be just the way it's coming across on my laptop, I don't know, but yeah, not the best thing I've heard today, to be honest.
Okay. Kirk?
I have a backstory on this band as well. Back in the day, when I lived near Bolton in Lancashire, I was in a band, me and my friend Robbie, and we used to practice at a rehearsal studio on Halliwell Road in Bolton. And My Ruin had recorded there when they were on tour in the UK. I don't know why they'd gone to the studio, and there was this signed poster where she'd put an imprint of a kiss on that and a lipstick and signed it. So I remember seeing that. Andy, you're right what you've identified there. This is not new metal. If that was a band full of men with short hair, you would just call that sludge metal, wouldn't you? And I'm being complimentary. That is essentially like a hardcore take on doom metal, isn't it? I enjoyed that. I do like the vocals because they are confrontation, they're deliberately high in the mix. They're hardcore. That is how a hardcore vocalist sings. That rasp, though, you're right. I think the technique is called false fry scream, where you watch someone doing it live and it looks like they're under this intense strain and they're not. There's a technique to do it. Don't be put off by the word false. It's not meant to be an insult. Whenever vocalists use that technique, they're preserving their voice. That's how they can tour, by using that technique. So it's not coming from the stomach by any means. The problem is she didn't ever deviate away from that. But Dave, I'm just on her page now. I am shocked to learn that she is 59 years old. Now, that just makes me feel old. So she's been a rapper since 1986. Manhole, obviously, were contemporaries of Korn, and then Tura Satana. I quite liked them, Tura Satana. They had 1 or 2 hits. Interesting with My Ruin, the UK was always their biggest market as well. So they did have a name over it. It probably was thanks to Kerrang! And Metal Hammer. Getting back to that song, I did like the guitar solos. You're right. For once, they probably could have done with a cliche of a wah-wah pedal, because there was some really tasty scale runs that he was doing. If you look at the fret stretches that he was playing, good drum groove. I think you probably agree with me on that, Dave. I bet you love the production on that. But yeah, it's all about Terry B, isn't it? I remember her being outspoken in the time, criticizing Pantera and Rob Flynn of Machine Head for being macho. Really interesting individual, and it's great to see that she's made a career. And yeah, she was one of the pioneers, just because there was no one really else around. And I'm not saying that's why she was on the front cover of Kerrang. It was refreshing though, wasn't it? So culturally, this is someone who had a big impact. You know, when I was 18, 19, she was the female in heavy music. And since 2015, apparently she just does rap albums now. I think you already said that, Dave, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, so this is what I find really interesting with Terry B as far as vocals is each of the projects she's done a different vocal delivery. And she doesn't tend to cross over in those genres. So she's not like she does rap and then decides to go and do the vocal fry scream. But in My Ruin, she focused on that delivery. I also agree with what Andy said. It is that very much the whole of that. There was no variation at all on that vocal delivery. Doesn't bother me as much. I'd listen to like this, but I'd have to change to a different style or a different song afterwards. I could do like a song of it and enjoy that song, but I couldn't do more. Like if you wanted me to listen to a whole album in one go, I'd struggle with that same vocal delivery. But I could listen to that and then go on to a hard rock band afterwards and listen to it, and then maybe a bit of a doom or something afterwards. I'm glad you picked up the Pantera vibe on that, Andy, because I was listening and going, that just sounds like something. If you take the vocals, swapped them around and put Phil Anselmo singing on that sounds like a song off of Reinventing the Steel to me.
Yeah, it does.
Even to the point where, and I'm looking at it going, well, Reinventing the Steel came out 8 years before this. But it really did feel like the riffs, even the positioning of the solos. Yeah, I agree. The solo tone wasn't great, but they followed the Pantera model of, well, they're just a bass and a guitarist, and you don't see Dimebag never used to double track the guitars, so you'd have that drop out and bass used to fill it, but the bass never bumped up enough. It was too clean a bass tone to really kind of fill that low end and fill it with a little bit of grit, if you like, behind the solo. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed the track. For me, it's just experiencing. I watched a couple of Terry B rap videos that came out not long after this. I'm like, is this the same vocalist? She's sitting there just doing like hip hop rap, and I'm like, in like a traditional pop rap video, and I'm like, did she just decide, fuck it, I'm just going to do metal for this couple of years, and now I'm just going to go do rap? Fuck it, I'll do that. What am I going to do? I'm going to do like J-pop next. Fuck it. It's just whatever she wants to do, she goes and does. And I think if I think back to when she was doing the Manhole bit, I mean, there was a great song they did, which was at 6 Feet Deep. It was fucking brilliant new metal track. But at the time, as you said, I mean, you talk about the bands. This is before Evanescence has come out or anything like that. So there was no one apart from the classic female rock bands that you could actually look to as a positive female lead within rock and metal. Obviously, we then get into the 2000s, and that she's kind of dropped off because we then got Amy Lee's kind of pumped straight to the front, and then you've also got the symphonic metal bands of things like Nightwish have then come around at the late 90s and stuff like that. So then we've got a whole new sort of bunch of female fronted bands that could take that mantle. But back when Manhole were coming out, there really wasn't much out there for if you were into that sort of thing. It was all, for what it was all female bass players. That's what everyone had.
I think in rock music they were well served in the 90s. You've got Courtney Love of Hole, Shirley Manson of Garbage, Skunk Anansie, Skin, but you're right.
Not that extreme end, did you?
Yeah, at the heavier end, you didn't have anyone really, did you?
Well, then I think the big change was when you had something like Arch Enemy came out, and that was when you got to show that actually a female can deliver just as well as a male, and in some cases even better than male in the extreme end of the market.
Yeah, that was the year zero moment, wasn't it? I agree. Arch Enemy, when people first heard Angela Gossow, we were like, fucking hell, is this possible? Yeah.
Because you knew with female vocals, with the classical like operatic stuff, you're like, oh well, that's where the females sit. That's where they do vocals, and they do pop music and they do rock. That's fine. But no, the death metal stuff, that's not for women. Women can't do death metal and extreme metal. Sorry, no, this is not your genre. And then she comes out and does Arch Enemy. You're like, fuck, right, we ain't got that either now. Women have taken that one over. For fuck's sake, right? Anyway, there we go. A bit of My Ruin for you today before I now get slated for saying that. If you enjoyed today's video, please do like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.